When I was sent to the institution, I had this fear. I was scared that if I went to that faraway boarding school, I'd fall under the curse. But I should be okay. I escaped from the school and returned to my hometown. Dokonomiya to be precise, but it should be okay according to the kid's rules, because I love Hinamizawa. The hag forces me to live this suffocating life, but I still chose to stay in this place. I don't believe I'm breaking Oyashiro-sama's rules, even though the Sonozaki family had selfishly banished me to a remote place. I came back here anyway. Oyashiro-sama should even bless me for that. I guess I'm trying to convince myself that the curse doesn't apply to me. But I think I'm still afraid of it. I love this place. So I don't think I qualify for Oyashiro-sama's curse. You could even call me a model villager. Yes. I think so too. But I'm not sure about Satoshi-kun. Why? Satoshi-kun wants to leave Hinamizawa and run far away, even if only unconsciously. Eh? I gave an inaudible cry. While I was feeling sad that Satoshi-kun hadn't shown up for practice, he still lived in Hinamizawa. So I'd never even considered the thought of him going away. Are you saying that he wants to skip town? Yes. He's not aware of it himself, though. He probably didn't notice it until Oyashiro-sama stood by his bed. I still had no idea what she was talking about. I continued trying to figure out what she was saying. Everything he's going through is a sign of Oyashiro-sama's curse. You feel like someone is watching you from a distance, and it follows you, and it watches from right behind you. After that, you start hearing an extra footstep. It only happens outside at first, but you start hearing it even inside your house after a while. Then Oyashiro-sama keeps watching you, even when you're sleeping in the dark, right by your side, waiting silently for you to admit your sin. Satoshi-kun told me he was having nightmares at first, so I asked him what kind of dreams he was having, and those dreams he was having, as it turned out, were just like mine. I warned him that the presence would become bigger. He'd hear an extra footstep and feel the presence watching him in his sleep. I told him to come to me if that ever happened. He must have been suspicious at first, but just as I predicted, he started to feel Oyashiro-sama's presence more strongly. He finally realized he could talk to me about it. Rena didn't look like she was joking. She just calmly told me what had been going on. I couldn't even move. I couldn't tell if her words were a joke or the truth. I could only feel stunned. I'm from Hinamizawa originally, but I moved to Ibaraki Prefecture right before I went to elementary school. However, when I couldn't adjust to my new environment, Oyashiro-sama frequently started telling me to return to Hinamizawa in my head. But I couldn't do anything since I was just a little kid. I was forced to live there, though I felt threatened by Oyashiro-sama's voice. Then Rena paused. It looked like she didn't want to go into the details of what followed. In general, she confused me even more. Anyway, I was able to come back here in the end. Oyashiro-sama forgave me. I haven't felt his presence any more since then. Satoshi-kun is being subjected to the curse even though he's in Hinamizawa. Why? There can only be one reason. It's because he wishes to abandon Hinamizawa. Oyashiro-sama won't allow that. After a series of inner monologues, he confessed, "You know he's working part-time, don't you? The teddy bear he's getting for Satoko-chan costs about 100,000 yen, and he's trying to get the money by her birthday. Have you noticed it yet? Think about it like this. If he had that amount of money, that'd be enough for him to run away somewhere far from here." He's unconsciously started to think about that, about leaving Satoko-chan behind, but he'd feel very guilty. As you pointed out, Satoko-chan is a burden on him. He's not stupid, so he's aware of that. He just doesn't want to admit it because he's the one who's supposed to protect his little sister. He's been struggling with himself. He thinks he's working to please Satoko-chan on her birthday, but he also feels that he might be deceiving himself because he unconsciously wants to skip town with that money. I don't think he should run away. Even if he did, he'd regret it for the rest of his life. Oyashiro-sama knows that. That's why Oyashiro-sama is trying to warn him. I hope Satoshi-kun stops thinking of abandoning Satoko-chan. He's working hard to make it to Satoko-chan's birthday, which is a couple of days after the Tanagashi festival. He's pushing himself too hard. He believes it'll end when Satoko-chan's birthday comes. The curse keeps cautioning him, while he tries to figure out whether he should leave or continue protecting her. The torrential rain didn't seem to want to stop. It kept pouring down on the galvanized iron roof, producing a loud noise. Yet in the shack it fell, completely silent. What the hell was Rena talking about? I couldn't grasp even half of what she was saying. The only thing I had figured out is that Satoshi-kun was struggling, confused, and in lots of pain. He's suffering from Oyashiro-sama's curse, and Rena has experienced that before. The Tanagashi festival was right around the corner. Oyashiro-sama's curse had struck 3 years in a row. There was no guarantee that it wouldn't strike a 4th time. Satoshi-kun was subject to Oyashiro-sama's curse, even now. Was he going to skip town? Was he going to be the next victim of Oyashiro-sama's curse? Either way, he might disappear forever. Could I do something to prevent it? If I didn't do anything, it would all come to a hopeless end. And I started feeling a sense of dread. I didn't buy the crazy story Rena told me, but if something really happened to Satoshi-kun, which might bring about some kind of an end, I couldn't help feeling scared. It's true, isn't it? My instinct is always correct. I decided to contact Mia, despite the danger. Mian got upset at first, but she had to listen to me. "Sis, what's going on with Satoshi-kun? He looks really stressed out. I can't even talk to him." "What do you mean you don't know what's going on because you can't talk to him?" "Sorry, sis. Give me another chance to trade spots again." That's fine. But I'm kind of busy lately, attending meetings for the festival. What are you planning to do? Another part-time job?" "I'm going to your school." Notebook page 21 and 24. Possessed. Heard a story about Oyashiro-sama. Why don't I relate my encounter with that creepy girl in the rain? Her name is Rena Ryuugu. Her real name first is Rena. I have no idea what kind of girl she really is. One thing is certain, she has no relation to the Sonozaki family. You know what? I'm going to use this picture for the thumbnail. So, she has no relation to the 3 families as a whole either. The Ryuugu family used to live in Hinamizawa, but then they moved to Ibaraki. That was before she went to elementary school. They returned to Hinamizawa some years later. Rena Ryuugu said she came back because Oyashiro-sama told her to. I don't know what that means. She said it was the curse of Oyashiro-sama. That Oyashiro-sama had stalked her. I think that was probably an hallucination. But Satoshi-kun had been interested in that experience. She said that Satoshi-kun was also experiencing Oyashiro-sama's curse. Satoshi-kun told her that he was being followed by some unknown existence. He was surprised to learn that Rena had the same experience before. What is Oyashiro-sama's curse? Why did Rena and Satoshi-kun have similar experience? I believe that means that somebody put them under surveillance. Somebody must be spying on the next victim of the curse. Since Rena and Satoshi-kun both blindly believed in Oyashiro-sama's curse, they interpreted it as Oyashiro-sama's presence. If paranoia kicked in, they'd feel as if they were experiencing paranormal phenomena. Judging from what Rena said, it seems that Satoshi-kun had been put on surveillance since long before Watanagashi. So, one question comes to mind. Why were they watching Rena? I'm assuming that this surveillance was placed on a victim-to-be of that year. If so, I don't understand why Rena went through it. Why did they watch her even though she was living so far away? If she was considered somebody who abandoned the village, I could understand, but she didn't fall victim in the end. Maybe she was forgiven because she came back to Hinamizawa. I guess she still knows something I don't. Satoshi-kun looked terrible. When he went home, he had to mediate a fight between Satoko and their aunt. He became mentally exhausted. He went to work every day. He became physically exhausted. He no longer communicated with his classmates. He either slept on his desk or was gone somewhere during lunch break. He used to be really gentle. It was painful to see him suffering like that. On top of all that, he was dealing with the curse of Oyashiro-sama. He must have been completely, totally, and absolutely exhausted. That curse was a form of surveillance by those planning to victimize Satoshi-kun that year. That means that the other victim was in the same situation. Satoshi-kun's aunt had also been watched. Did she notice any presence? What about the others? Did the victims of the previous incidents also experience it? I need to investigate the facts in order to prove the curse on Satoshi-kun was actually just surveillance. Is it surveillance, paranoia, or really the curse? President, if you would,